following portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by Douthit Insurance. You know, there are many reasons why folks may not be eligible for Medicare health insurance. And this morning, David Douthit with Douthit Insurance is here to help those Medicare ineligible find the best health insurance coverage at the most affordable price. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
There are a number of reasons why folks may not be eligible for Medicare. Can you break those down for us?
Well, most people, you have to be 65 to be eligible for Medicare. So, you know, there's a lot of people pre-65
that are retiring.
They're retiring. You know, we get people regularly, you know, they've had enough of the work life, and now it's time for a little bit of fun and retirement life. So the two things they usually are talking to, their financial advisor to see how the money is, and then they're also talking to about what their insurance is going to cost, because that's a big part of your retirement. So,
and I also know that, you know, they're changing employers, and Medicaid, TNCare, things of that nature are changing. So you may be out, you know, looking on the outside end, and you may need some help.
Yeah, you know, with Medicare, they started about a year, Medicaid, about a year ago.
Right.
They started looking at it. They didn't look at it all through COVID time period. Right. So then people have gained income and they're losing Medicaid. So now they have to find different insurance when they lose Medicaid. Right. And we've got some of those options for them at that time.
And we have so many people that are moving to our area, both to live here and to retire.
Yeah.
So when you make that move from one state to another, sometimes the Medicare, there's some different sides of Medicare depending on where you live.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of Medicare plan you have.
Right.
When you move, sometimes you have to change Medicare plans. You know, we've been a secret, I think, this area for a long time, but I think the secret's out. So there's a lot of people moving in.
Right.
So when they come in, they either need to change their Medicare plan, their drug plan, or if they're coming in and they need just health insurance because they may have had to give up what health insurance they were in their previous location.
Right, and we've talked about all the different reasons why you might not be eligible for Medicare, but there is help available, and all they got to do is come see you.
Yes, we'll walk them through, and we represent several different companies, so we're able to help figure out what's going to be the best for each person that comes in.
What are some things you need to consider when you're talking about buying individual coverage or coverage for you and your family?
A lot of the things that we're looking at, most of the plans are affordable care plans, marketplace, those things. So you have to know what your income, you have to estimate what your income is going to be this year, the current year that you're getting insurance. So that's a big thing. And then that's the biggest part of it. You come in with your age and your income, and it's pretty simple. We can look through and figure out what's going to be the best option.
Now, for some folks, short-term plans may be an option.
Right, because if your income is extreme and so those affordable care plans are not as affordable, then that's when short-term plans come into play, and sometimes even, you know, just catch a gap in between a few months before you hit Medicare.
Now, if you're thinking of retiring, what are some questions you need to ask yourself before you come and ask you questions? What are some things that people need to consider when it comes to insurance?
The big thing is, you know, kind of think through what your normal usage is. You know, how often do you go to the doctor? What medications are you on? And what does that cost at this point? A lot of people, when they're on a work plan, they don't even know what they're paying for their plan. They don't even know what their deductible is. So then it's kind of hard to start comparing what your retirement plan is going to be. So kind of know where you're coming from, and then, but we'll help you walk through all that. It's no big deal.
And I started to say, people, all they got to do is contact you, come in, sit down for a consultation, and you walk them through the whole process.
We'll go through all of it, and you know, and there's no pressure. It's just, hey, this is, you know, just step by step and get you through that, and it's going to be, you know, whatever works best for you. So it's different things for different people.
Switching gears just a little bit, we want to say thank you here at WJHL. You're one of the big sponsors on our show that we're having tomorrow to honor those folks that participated in D-Day. And we have a big special coming up tomorrow on WJHL, and you're one of the sponsors of that. Why did you decide you wanted to get involved with that?
As a veteran, you know, it's just, I have a heart for veterans, but, you know, D-Day is kind of, you know, whether you're a veteran or not a veteran, I mean, we just owe those guys so much credit. And I don't even know how you could ever pay them back for all what, being able to just walk out on that beach that day, you know, just beyond my understanding.
And we got that information up there. We had it up there on the screen. We want to thank you for participating in that and sponsoring that.
We're honored to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, David. Great information. And if you need answers to any questions that you may have about Medicare, Medicaid, any insurance question, go to Douthit Insurance right there in Kingsport. They're located on South Wilcox Drive. There is their number, or you can go to douthitinsurance.com. The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities was sponsored by Douthit Insurance.